In this video, I want to look at a massively underused but incredibly powerful feature of Smart Notebook, which is the activities. To get to the activities, you've got this little Space Invader icon. So long as you've got Smart Notebook 17 and above, this will be a feature that's available to you. So click on the little Space Invader and the activities window will pop up. Here are the activities you've got available. If you're not sure what they are, you can actually click on the little magnifying glass and preview will pop up. If you click on that, you'll see, as you can tell, fill in the blanks is a big chunk of text. You remove some words and people can then come up and put the words in the right order. What we're going to do for this one is I'm going to come all the way down to the bottom and I'm going to do a super sort. I won't do the preview, we'll just dive straight in. It's asking for two categories. So I'm going to go with verbs and nouns. So we'll put some verbs in. Run, jump, kick, and we'll put some nouns in. Ball, hat, coat. And I click next. I've then got a series of backgrounds I can choose. I'll go with the Jungle Island and click finish. And I'm done. How long did that take? A couple of minutes tops. So you can get the child to come up to the board and they can play this game. They drag hat to verb, and obviously that's wrong. So it bounces back, take it to nouns, it's correct. And the child can come up and play this game themselves. So you saw how quickly I created this content. And that's the whole idea behind this activity builder. It's about giving you, the teacher, the power to create interactive content that's visually appealing to the children, but very, very quickly. You'll notice I've got a little speaker icon here. If I untick that, it will play some music. I won't untick it because this is on YouTube and I don't know if it's copyrighted or not. If I click on the little circle with the arrow in, it will reset the game. And if I click on the pencil, it will allow me to edit what I've already done. So as you can see, I can go in and I can adjust any of the verbs. I can delete entire categories and redo them. I can save them to reuse them elsewhere. So I'll go to a new page and we'll have a look at another one to give you a general idea of what this can do. So let's say, for instance, it's a Friday afternoon. You want to check the learning that your children have done over the week. You could decide to have a Friday afternoon test, but you're going to say, let's have a Friday afternoon test, and the children are going to be a bit, do we have to? You could go into activities and do a game show. So if we look at the preview here, you'll see that we have either two people or two teams, and they get asked questions and score points. So let's click on game show. What you have to do now is add in some questions. So you've got a choice of multiple choice questions or true or false. The options do come up as true or false in that. So you do need to make sure that you word your question. So the answer is either true or false. For this, we'll do a multiple choice. So, what year did NASA land on the moon? We will go 1967, 1968, 1969 or 1970. The right answer, of course, is 69. So you just tick the radio button next to that and that makes that the right answer. So what I can do now is add another question. Don't want it to be multiple choice or true or false. I can change it there. We'll do a true or false for this one. London is the capital of the United Kingdom. True or false? Obviously that one's true. And again, we can add questions. I can go back in and edit any of the questions that I want to do. Once I'm happy with that, I click next. It will then give me the questions in the order I've done them. If I've got this box ticked, randomised question order, that will obviously ask the questions in a completely different order. But if I untick that box, what I can do is drag the question by dragging the 3 little dots at the side, and I can just reorder the questions if I wanted to. But to be fair, for something like this, you do usually leave it as randomised question order. And then I click finish. And I'm done. So you imagine you could put a game show together with 10 questions in roughly 5 minutes. It doesn't take very long at all. Then you've got a couple of options. You could get your class divided into 2 groups, and you could have a captain for each group. You could actually control this from the board and ask the questions out to the children. You could put this onto a screen in a breakout room and give your TAs a small group of children who they split up into groups. The options are up to you. But essentially what we do, click start. And then, like I say, you as the teacher, or you could get the kids to come up to the board and they just spin the wheel. Now you'll notice we've got the question marks for questions. So here we go. Here's a question. London is the capital of the United Kingdom. True. That's correct. We get 100 points. It now goes over to the other side, to the other team, and that team can spin. Now, if it lands on a asterisk, a little star, then they get an option to remove a wrong answer. So when we've got the multiple choice, and you've got up to 4 answers, they could choose to use one of those stars to remove an incorrect answer. And then the ×2 is obviously multiplies the amount of points that they get on the next question. So we'll spin the wheel. And we get another question. What year did NASA land on the moon? It was 1969, but let's say it was 1970. That's wrong. So now it goes to the other team. And you'll see the teams have got their own little icons. So this team will say, okay, it's 1969, and you'll see now it's 75 points. So it goes down from 100 to 75 to 50 to 25. We've gone through the 2 questions. It says good game, and one of the teams is declared the winner. Again, if you want to restart that, you just click on the restart button. It goes back to the beginning. You have got sound, you have got music playing through this. Again, I won't play it because I don't know if it's copyrighted and I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. And if you want to edit the questions, you just click on the pencil icon. And you can go through and edit the questions and change the answers if you need to. You can add more questions if you want. That's an incredibly quick way of doing a test for your class without them feeling that it's a test. The other thing you can do is if you find you've got a child who's quiet, who's not contributing, you as a teacher can kind of go, well, what do you think the answer is to this? And get some feedback from them. This is a really, really useful way of just measuring the children's learning over a week or over a topic, for instance. We'll just close this and I'll go to a new screen. So if we have a look at some of the options that we've got here, like I say, fill in the blanks. You've got a chunk of text and you can put the words in the right order. I'm not going to go through all of these. It's kind of, I want you to go and explore them. Flip Out is one of these recall and vocabulary games. Game show we've seen. Label Reveal, the classic one where you have a picture and you can put labels on and the children have to guess what the labels are. Match Them Up is, as you can see there's one where it's you match the animal to the sounds, but you can match anything you want. Now you'll notice that some of them have got devices required. If I just show you the Shout It Out, you'll see there that things are just popping up on a screen. Well, what's that? This is another powerful feature that the Activity Lab has. The first thing you need to do as a teacher is link Smart Notebook to your email address. To do this, you click on Account and Sign In. It will ask you to sign in with either your Google details or your Microsoft details. So if it's Microsoft, it will be an Office 365 account that you'll get through the school. If it's Google, it will be a Google Classroom account. And if you click on Account and Profile, it will show you your name and your class number. What you can then do with these games where device is required is the children, they can log on to any device, so long as it's got a web browser. That could even be their own mobile phone. It could be a tablet, laptop, whatever. As long as it's got a web browser, it's fine. They go to a website, they put in your number, and they join your class. So with things like Shout It Out, as you can see, you can ask children questions. So you could say, what do you like? And you can see that the kids there start putting in, I like dogs, I like cats, and it comes up on the screen. You could do that if you're doing a new topic, Vikings for instance, at the start of the term, you could say, okay, what do you know about Vikings? They can put in words or pictures, send them to the board. You can move them around, work with them. If you then save your Smart Notebook, it saves the Smart Notebook and it saves the activity in the position it's in. So if the children have put all these things on the screen, you can click on save and it saves it as it is. You could then do that again at the end of the topic and you could see how your children's learning has progressed. Response, you'll see here, you kind of create a quiz and the children go in and answer that quiz and you get a running total of who's answered what, whether they've got it right or wrong, those sort of things. The monster quiz is again a similar thing, but it's got a bit more of a fun theme to it. So you end up with two monsters fighting. So the kids are broken down into two teams, and they have to answer the questions on their own device. And then monsters fight each other. And of course, it's whichever team does better, their monster wins. What you can also do is, if we look at the noun and verb activity that I did earlier, you'll see there's a little tablet icon with a 0 in. If I click on that, it will bring up my number, and here the students can go on a web browser, type in hellosmart.com, type in my number, and then I click start, and they will get a version of this game on their own device that they can play themselves. So you haven't even got to have the children coming to the board if you don't want to. Now that only works with certain games, so obviously something like the game show, for instance, that doesn't work. You can tell it's a game where it works because it has this little tablet icon on the right hand side. So you've got a few options there. You can have games where children are working as teams and it's all on the board, where they're working as teams but they've all got their own device, where you've got individual games where they're playing it on the board or they're playing it on their own device. The other thing I want to quickly mention as well is next to activities you have assessments. Again, you have to be logged in with your account, so you've got your own little class number, but you can now start putting together a quiz. The children will then go to the website on their device and they will get this quiz, and you will see in real time as the children are going through that quiz who's answering what, how well they're doing. You can then get a full breakdown of what they've done. So this is what I mean when I say that this activity window and these assessments are really, really powerful tools that are so underused in schools. So my advice to you is click on account, log in with your Google Classroom or your Microsoft 365 account, and then start creating some activities for your children and some assessments for your children, and get them actually using this thing, and use it to grade the children's learning rather than just giving them another test. It's a wonderful resource. It is so underused in schools. It's there please use it.